Everyone, and welcome to this wealthmanagement.com fast chat. I'm Shannon Rossick, and I'm joined by Aaron Spradlin, Chief Information Officer at United Planners. Aaron, appreciate you joining me.
Yeah, I'm excited to catch up.
Oh, likewise. And, just for context, we'll be taking a fast but deep dive into United Planners' philosophy on technology, which I'm excited to dig into. So, Aaron, teeing up the first question, tell me a little bit about your philosophy on technology and how it differs from other broker-dealers.
You bet. And from financial services in general. So United Planners, as we kind of watch what's happening in the industry with the mergers and acquisitions and the challenges wealth management is facing today, I think the thing that we've kept true north on is really believing in the independence of our advisors. We really believe in their independence of their technology stack, as well as their brand. And that shows up in our technology. So it shows up in our roadmap, it shows up in our critical initiatives, it shows up in everything that we do. For example, when we think about even the account opening process, something as mundane as that, historically, a lot of firms have really focused on how they can centralize that or make it in the best interest of maybe, say, the broker-dealer or the financial services firm that the advisor is working for. Where at United Planners, we've always been focused on how do we allow them to take advantage of these innovative platforms that are out there, these innovative account opening platforms or innovative client engagement platforms and all the buzzwords that go with that. So how do we allow them to maintain that with who their clients are and what their branding is and make that as efficient as possible? So not seeing us as the center of the universe, but their brand, their process is the center of the universe. And then our mission is to make that as efficient and as from paperwork processing, from human resources, as well as from technology, to really engage them, to allow them to maintain that independence versus kind of stealing that independence from them through technology.
And walk me through that process a little bit of what's driving the technology decisions at United Planners. Is it coming from advisor feedback? Is it you obviously keeping your finger on the pulse? What's ultimately driving these initiatives?
Well, that's great. What's driving it? So ultimately what drives it for our firm is a focus on this idea of partnership, right? So we are a partnership, and that's really what defines us uniquely in the industry from a structural perspective. But that shows up in everything that we have within the firm mechanically. So for example, we have a partner advisory team that is a team that engages with the senior leadership. Those meetings are opportunities for us to get feedback on our ideas and for them to give us feedback. So ideas flow from that partner advisory team who work with our advisors, and we want to make sure that we're hearing them, and there's a function for that. We also have a function within our company called a critical initiative process, and that process, again, mechanically allows the senior leadership to get together and say, what are we going to say no to? You see, a lot of firms are really good at saying yes and never doing it. One of the things we've got really good at United Planners is learning how to say no and staying focused on what is really critical. And that criticality is what's going to be the thing that our advisors need, right? So you really have these, so you have the advocacy of our Sheila's team and our partner development team and what they're hearing that advisors need. You have our existing advisors, and all that feeds in that critical initiative committee and that ability to learn how to say no. So mechanically, those two things are necessary if you're going to deliver on your roadmaps and stay true north. And that's, I think, two unique things that our firm does and has done well for years that differentiates us from the market.
So speaking of saying no, then I have to ask the $1 million question around AI. Is it on the roadmap? Yeah. Have you said yes to it, no to it? Yeah. What does it mean at UP right now?
Right. So fancy algorithms, also known as AI. So yes, we have said yes to it. Okay. So, but let me tell you how we've said yes to it. So again, kind of back to this critical mission of thinking about what advisors need and the account opening process. As you know, it's a very complex, multiple workflows, and all the complexity that advisors face, custodians face, and everybody faces. And we have the digital account opening processes like DocuSign that are very innovative. At the end of the day, United Planners has over, I think, close to 60 different workflow engagements that our advisors have, whether they initiate the process through Schwab or TDA or some other custodian or through a laser app and myriad of ways. And so all of those will end up into DocuSign, but DocuSign has its limitations. Now, we as a firm could turn around and say, well, you know what? The solution really is to go out to all of our advisors and say, you must use this system, call it System A. And if you use this system, all your problems are solved. But now, in a sense, I've gotten interfered with their client engagement tools that are out there. So what we did is we looked at what's going on with AI, and we saw what AWS is doing around their ability to process forms, read information from forms, and digitally take that information and turn it into data that could be ingested into our systems. So rather than kind of taking that vision even further, is saying, well, is there a world in which an advisor could use any form that they want or any process they want, and we could use AI to essentially read these forms, process these forms, and enter it to our system for them, or enter it into our system for our back office so a human doesn't have to do it. So that's an example where these type of technologies can do deep learning, learn how to read forms, and allow you then to really innovate the way that you engage this automated process. Because at the end of the day, we have to receive all this information. We have to process information. Once we process the information in our systems, we do really cool stuff like share it back off to Redtail CRM, or we take all of their digital account opening paperwork and we put it into the Redtail imaging for them, and we do all their folder structures for them. We have all these really cool things that we can do, but you have to have good data. And so you can go back and say, well, in order to have good data, you have to use this one system that supposedly does everything. Or you have to say, oh, we're going to go clearing, and you have to use our clearing arrangement, where you have to funnel these advisors into something. But AI has opened an opportunity for a new way of thinking that says, what if we allowed advisors to use, paper, digital, or any of this, and as long as AI can read it, and in this case, AWS has something called, I'm going to lose the name of it now that you've said it, but I'll say it in a minute. It'll come to me. But they have a technology that can read handwriting, as well as different type of typing and forms, and it's not perfect. There is some work that we have to do, but that's the type of thing where United Planners is going to invest in something that makes our advisors' life easier, as well as creates the efficiencies that they expect from our firm. So that's an example.
And it's great to hear, because I know that United Planners has always put service, really at the top of your list to ensure that advisors are ultimately satisfied and can grow their business. And so you read my mind when you mentioned data, because that is top of mind for everyone right now, because garbage in, garbage out at the end of the day, right? And you're only as good as your worst piece of data. So it's great to hear that you are pioneering and driving those strategies and helping advisors really work through that big challenge they're having right now. And so I do want to wrap up here. As I mentioned, customer service is paramount at United Planners. And how does your customer service standard play into your vision to be a top financial planning firm?
Yeah, it's all of us, even myself. When I have a problem, I still call. And maybe it's a Gen X and older thing. Hopefully, I think even the younger generations are figuring out it's just easier to call somebody, pick up the phone. So knowing that when you have something that, and especially when you're talking about the importance of what advisors do, the importance of the responsibilities. At the end of the day, do they really want to go to a command prompt, or do they really want to go to some website and try to self-serve? No, they want to pick up the phone and talk to somebody. And United Planners historically, from late 1980s when we were founded, have always answered the phone. But how do you do that at scale? And so one of the most innovative things we've ever done is to figure out how to provide that level of, we will always answer the phone at scale. So the one thing that is the most unique about United Planners is that we answer the phone, and not only do we answer the phone for all of our advisors, but there's two unique things. We do so within 30 seconds. On average, 98% of our phone calls, I believe that's the number, about 98% of our phone calls are answered within about 30 seconds. Every one of those calls are answered by somebody, to the point that we have a tiered system internal to the firm. That call will even come to me, and if I don't get it, the CEO of the company will actually answer the phone. So it's a built-in technology using Salesforce and Zoom, as well as other various technologies, in order to kind of centralize that user experience, but make sure that all of our advisors' calls are answered And once they're answered, that there's somebody accountable for the follow-up to make sure that whatever they called for is resolved. So at United Planners, when you join us as an advisor, when you call within 30 seconds, somebody's going to answer. It's going to be a trained professional. And if that trained professional is not available, it will be the CEO of the company. And that is what's unique at United Planners, is we've invested in the people, the technology, and the processes to deliver something that you used to think wasn't available anymore, but it is available at United Planners.
Well, those numbers are certainly impressive, and even more impressive that the CEO is picking up the phone as well.
Yeah,
so not many firms can say that.
It does happen. It does happen, and every once in a while, I'm like, I see it pass me, and my first thought is, oh no, I hope he doesn't get this phone call, because he loves to talk to the advisor, so he'll take it. But then there's just this oh, what happened that it ended up getting to the CEO. But ultimately, that's how important he takes it, and that's critical. If the CEO of the company and all of the partners who own the company and all the executives are willing to be part of a call tree and answer a phone call to make sure an advisor is heard, that is the kind of firm that you want to join. That shows the commitment level we have to our advisors. And all of that obviously is powered by really cool technology. But I'm not proud of the cool technology. I'm proud of answering the phone.
Well, United Planners is certainly doing something right when it comes to culture and technology. And Aaron, really appreciate your insights. Thank you so much.
You bet. Thank you.